Hi there. So I am going to paint today using Jolie paint, and I'm going to be using Jolie paint in antique white matte finish, and then I'm going to be protecting this piece with the protective top coat in clear by Jolie. And also I'm going to add some darkened wax, so it's the black top coat finishing wax by Jolie paint too. I just want it to really stand out, and I want to have all of this detail here on the metal pop. So this is a piece I recently thrifted, probably I think it was last weekend. It's a very just unique little metal rabbit canister storage container. You could put flatware inside of it, paper bits, buttons, sewing materials. Really, the possibilities are endless. I don't believe this is old. I'm pretty sure it's a newer piece, but like I said, when I see pieces with this type of detail, I just really gravitate towards them, especially if it's a rabbit and then also metal, double handle. It's an excellent piece. So I'm just going to do some light prep. It's not wood, it's metal, which by the way, Jolie paint works great on metal, and you can apply wax over it too. But I'm just going to use these wet wipes and just kind of wipe it down, because I do see that there might be a little bit of dust on here. You do want a clean surface. So when I say prep, that means for this piece, just wiping it down, making sure that the surface is clean. There's no sanding needed for this piece. Generally, you do not have to sand when you use Jolie paint products. There's always an exception to every rule, I guess we'll call it, but generally you don't need to. And in this case, we definitely do not need to sand metal. So we're just gonna go ahead here and wipe this down. Hopefully you can see this okay. I'm not on a live, so I really can't see myself in the video, but I just want to show you how simple this is, and literally anyone can do it. So that's kind of the beauty of repurposing items using the Jolie paint. It's really nice out today, so I'm sitting outside, and I don't think I'm going to paint the inside. I'm not going to, but I did want to wipe that out while I have this cloth kind of. So it's like I said, it's really nice out, it's warm out, this is already dry. So we're good to go there. I guess I didn't do the bottom. I'm probably not going to paint the bottom either, but I do want to get that little sticker residue off. So I'll just do that really quickly. And there's nothing fancy about these wipes I'm using. So they're just wet wipes basically. Okay, I'm gonna leave this as is. I'm not gonna lock it. I'm just gonna get started. So when I do this project, I'm gonna use the Jolie small signature brush, 1.5 inches. This is my favorite brush. And I'm just gonna use the can, out of the can when I'm painting here, because I don't know, it's just how I roll sometimes, and this can isn't full. But this is like how I start with my brush on a project like this. There's not a ton of paint on there. You can see I only have about 1 inch, not even, see the bag, to get started. And I'm just gonna apply, and a little bit goes a long way. Now, the first coat, the objective is really just to get it on, and then on the second coat, you want to go in more with a little bit of fuller coverage, maybe a little bit more on your paint, and just get any of the spots that maybe you didn't get the first time. This would also be a fun piece where you would just use the whitewash technique, and then maybe you wouldn't want to do a second coat because you want that washed look. And the bunny would absolutely look amazing like that. But I have a specific look in mind that I'm going to do with the black wax, and hopefully it turns out. So I'm just going to kind of go with what I see in my head, and hopefully it works out. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. Right now, like I said, there's no special technique other than I am trying to get the paint to cover this piece. This is the first coat. The second coat, it's going to be more of a solid base. Because there is that texture design, I find sometimes when you dab the brush into the piece, it will allow coverage into the crevices of the detail better. I love antique white. It's one of my favorite colors, the neutrals of the Jolie paint line. And yeah. So I was really excited when I found this piece because it was just so, I don't know, it was just different. I mean, like I said, it's not old, but it's definitely a nice storage container. And again, I like anything with rabbits. My customers like anything with like bunnies or rabbits on them. And it's just a fun, cute piece. And when I seen it, I was just like, oh, I know exactly what I want to do to that. Now, I was thinking, like when I first seen it, I was like, oh, maybe a mint green would look really nice with this. But then I got to thinking about it, and yeah, mint green with like a light black wax would have looked really cool. But then at the same time, it would have been more seasonal. I feel like it wouldn't give it as many options to be like year round. Like it'd be more of like a for sure spring item. I mean, you could leave it out all year. That'd be totally fine. But I just feel like if I do it white, it's gonna be give people more options to feel maybe more confident leaving it out year round, as opposed to they see mint green and a bunny and they might think, oh, that's really spring. So I do tend to think about my customers too, and what will be a better bang for their buck, shall we say. I always call it those one and done pieces where you buy the one focal point and then you either decorate the florals or what goes inside the piece throughout the seasons, but that one major focal point piece that maybe you spent a little bit more on remains the same all year round, so you don't have to keep buying like a centerpiece and then all the florals or decorative items that go in it. I know dough bowls are quite pricey, but you can buy those. The primitive ones I'm really a sucker for, and then like it's done. You can keep that out year round, and then you just change up what's inside of when you feel like it. So hopefully that gives you a better example. And also, because I'm going to go in with black wax on this piece, if I miss some spots or I don't cover it totally solid, thick white in every spot, that's okay, because I can touch it up with the wax too. And when I apply the wax, we're gonna start with the protective top coat finishing wax in clear, and then we will apply the black, because you want the colors to be the truest color applied, and to get that adhesion that's going to stay and last without it just totally soaking in. We got a bite coming just a minute. All right, and so like I said, you want to use the clear first and then do the colored wax over it. So that's what I'm going to show you today as well. And I know today is Friday, so if anybody went to any sales, how were they? Did you find anything old or new that you're gonna put your own little twist on? If so, let me know in the comments below. I still have kind of a backlog from last weekend. I went to some community sales with my mom, so this is again one of the pieces I got from then, and I'm just working to get it complete for you, and I will have this available for sale on our social media pages with a link to our website when it is complete. Once waxed, it does take will need a couple days to cure, and then 2 weeks to fully cure. Once the wax fully cures, it's completely non-toxic and food safe. But again, I'm not painting the inside either. Okay, I think that's really good for a first coat. I even like how this looks. It gives it that real shabby boho chic country cottage look all rolled into one. You guys, if you've been following me for any amount of time, I do not have one style. I pretty much gravitate to just really fun different pieces. So all right, it's pretty much already dry. I'm painting outside. It's warm out today, and this paint doesn't take long to dry anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead here, and hopefully it's still recording. I'm gonna start doing a second coat of white, and then we're gonna get to the waxing. And this is really all there is to it. There's nothing super technical about this piece. I'm not doing any repairs to the wood or any, there's nothing difficult about this. It's just a really simple, fun project. Updating. I don't even want to call it an outdated piece because I liked it before when it was brown too, but it's just transforming it. We'll just leave it at that because that's really all it is. Some people might have liked the brown better, but again, I know my customer base. I know what they want. They're going to want this white, and they're going to want a little bit of, definition to it and dimension, and it's going to be a good thing all around. I'm sure everybody has their own preference when they hold a paintbrush too. I generally kind of hold it like a pencil and like to get close to the brush where I'm working at for more of the control. Some people might like to hold it farther back. I don't really know what the proper way is. I just do what works for me, and it's worked really good so far. And this is the part where I'm talking about if the decorative crevices are really deep, I'll just go ahead here and kind of press in and dab with the brush. That's about as technical as it gets. You could do this with your kids, you could do it with family, you could do it solo. It's just a really mindful project piece. And I truly believe that, well, I know because I've done it before, even if you purchased a sample size 4 ounces in the Jolie paint line, you would be able to complete this size piece and probably a couple others, and maybe even some picture frames, just because the coverage is great and a little bit goes a long way. And again, because I'm using wax and I like the shabby look anyways, I'm not even trying to get it completely white, but I mean, it looks good. It's definitely the look I'm going for here. You can distress it too at the end. You can do like, there's like a wet distressing technique where before it's completely dry, you just go in with a little bit of a wet cloth and wipe away spots that you want to have the distressed look. That's not what I'm going for today, but that is something you can do. It's a simple technique, and then you don't have to, you don't have to clean up any of the, maybe if it was wood, the dust on this, you might have a little bit of metal debris, dust, but so you wouldn't have to worry about that if you were doing the wet sanding technique. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let this dry for a minute. And then I'm going to start with the clear coat. So actually I'm going to end this video of me while it's painted, the video of me painting this, and I'm going to do the second video of it being waxed because I want to make sure that this was filmed okay for you. And I will start working on the waxed one shortly, and you can find that on the page too. All right, talk to you soon.